This week on Mixed and Mastered, I'm talking with Jasper Cameron, legendary songwriter and producer behind some of the biggest hits in R&B and pop. From You for Lloyd, Promise for Ciara, Dirty for Christina Aguilera, and Bedrock for Young Money. Jasper moves the culture. This is Mixed and Mastered with Jasper Cameron. Welcome to Mixed and Mastered, the podcast where the stories of the music industry come to life. I'm Jeffrey Sledge, bringing you real conversations with the people who have shaped the sound of music. We're pulling back the curtain on what it takes to make it in the music business. These are the stories you won't hear anywhere else, told by the people who live them. This is Mixed and Mastered. Mixed and Mastered with Jasper Cameron.
Yes, sir.
My man.
My man.
It's my guy right here, man. It's my guy.
What's up, Sledge?
How you doing, man?
I'm blessed and highly favored, brother.
I see. You're always blessed and highly favored. That's why you still here.
You better know it.
So you still here, man.
Yes,
so
sir.
Let's jump right into it. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Born and raised in Atlanta.
Please believe it, West Side.
So let me ask a question real quick, because I'm still learning the specifics of Atlanta. So yeah. Adamsville, is that considered the West Side or
Show West Side?
Oh, because that's not SWAT. That's not Southwest.
Well, it's like it's almost like part of Adamsville could be in the Southwest, but the other half gonna be on the Northwest side. So it's just it's split. Like on one side, past MLK to the left, is SWATs. On the other side is going toward Bankhead, and that
I got you.
That's its own one. You know what I mean?
Literally, you cross the street and you're one side, you cross the street on the side. Okay, yep. I got you. So tell me about growing. You know what I've always thought about you in particular?
Yeah.
When I watched many times now, when I watched the movie ATL,
yeah,
I always thought like that looks like your upbringing.
The skate ring in my neighborhood, the skate ring in Adamsville.
See,
so the Cascade skate ring in Adamsville. So that's my whole everything. That's my life in my neighborhood, right there.
That's your world. As a kid, that was your world. So tell me about growing up on the West Side as a kid.
Man, you know what? It's one of the most unique experiences that I didn't know was unique coming up, because in my area coming up, I grew up with Killer Mike. Me and Mike went to elementary and high school together. T.I., Lil Jon went to my high school. And I was Shouty Low, Carlos Walker from Bowen Homes. You know what I'm saying? Like all of them, so Jamal Lewis, the football player, he grew up down the street. So all of us grew up together around each other. But our neighborhood was unique because you seen from the lowest to the highest classes. So you would see people who may not have so much, but they always mixed and mingled with the people who had things. So it was never far-fetched for us to know we can have it. We always seen success all around us. We seen black doctors. We seen black dentists. We seen black pastors with a lot of money. We seen street guys with a lot of money. So everything was all together. So I didn't realize how unique that was. So I went to other places, and we never felt like we couldn't do it. We always seen success right in front of us, no matter how long the totem pole we started. We always knew we can get it.
That's beautiful. So I did a little research on it, and I saw that you was a church kid. You grew up in the church. You grew up in the church.
My mama gonna get us up every Saturday to go to choir rehearsal. My whole family. Matter of fact, DC Young Fly, his daddy was my preacher growing up, Reverend Whitfield.
Wow.
So DC Young Fly daddy, he way younger, John way younger than us.
Yeah.
His daddy pastored a church in the Bluff, Vine City. That's where my mama side of the family from, Vine City. And everybody know that real West Side, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Greater Springfield Baptist Church, and my whole family went to that church. So we all went to that church, my whole family. Every Sunday was like a family reunion. That whole church was my whole family. And every Saturday, no matter we had football practice or what, we going to choir rehearsal. So I definitely grew up in the church.
Wow. I think about that because I grew up the same way, man. When my grandfather was a deacon, my grandmother was an usher board, and I always wonder if that's still going on.
Well,
with young kids. I hope so.
I hope so too, because you know what? Even though I didn't even think about certain things that the church was providing for me at the time, I realized how much it meant to me later on. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing like a solid foundation. Without a solid foundation, man, the building gonna fall down. So I realized, man, that solid foundation is so important, and it provided one for me. Like even if I didn't know what the preacher was talking about, I knew every Sunday I was gonna see my family. I knew every Saturday I learned how to sing in church. I learned how to play piano in church. So it was providing me something to set me up for life that I didn't even know. So that's why it's so important. Community is so important.
It
You get
does.
what I'm
And
saying?
it teaches you the respect of your elders
All of that.
and all of that, and
The way the world works,
the way it
like
works.
all that.
Yeah. You know, Miss So and
Really
so
needed.
slipping that little candy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, man.
All of that.
So tell me about singing in the church.
Well, what happened was in my family, you had to participate in something in the church. Either you was going to be on the usher board, the junior ushers. You was going to participate in something. Kind of always, my mama and my brothers and sisters, my nieces always tell me, my daddy's side of the family super musically inclined.
Okay.
So also on my daddy's side, they from LaGrange, Georgia. The church was actually next door to my daddy's house where he grew up. So we go down to the LaGrange, we walk straight over to the church, next door. So on both sides, it was a strong foundation like that. And growing up, like you had to participate in church. It wasn't no doubt about I ain't participating in something. You're gonna have to do something. You know what I mean? You finna do something. So they automatically knew I was gonna be in the because I think I used to sing all the time. So my mama like, you gonna be in choir. So that's what I participated in.
Looking backwards, we're gonna move. But looking backwards, do you find like singing in the church and like watching the people playing the piano and did that come later on in you writing songs and arranging records?
For sure, I still use all those tools I learned. My harmony, how to arrange the songs, how I program my keyboards when I'm playing it, how I program my drums, that feeling that you need to make it feel something. When you sing low, when you sing high, when you sing calm, when you take it down, all of that come from church. My mama make us listen to the Whiners, Vanessa Bell, man, all of that stuff. Like it all came back, but subconsciously you do that stuff, but you don't really know you do. You be like, man, wow, and you realize how much you use it. But I use all those. I use so much of that stuff every day. Still writing songs, still producing songs.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, music all about feeling. And you ain't gonna find no more feeling than in the church.
And I think that's what's again before we move on. I think that's kind of what's missing in a lot of singers today. They're not coming from the church.
Yeah, they're not. I think they create like the whole point of really doing music. You really want to make people feel something.
Yeah,
you want to make people feel something like because if they ain't feeling it, how they gonna connect to it? Without no feeling, there's no connection. So I think a lot of that is missing. You know what I mean? Maybe they connect on other ways, but I know that part is a big piece of connection. Music spiritual. Music comes from the soul.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's why people cry sometimes in the studio or laugh or whatever, Man,
you feel it.
Yeah, you're feeling it, So tell me about you. So you got your start professionally, I guess, with Joyce Irby. So tell me about that.
Well, we was in high school. I started a group, and we started renting out this studio. My man Leonard Watkins started managing us. He had a little studio in East Point, and we used to rent our studio time. And what happened was she came over one day to rent some rehearsal space for her band, and he told her, "Well, can you listen to my group that I work with?" She listened to us, and she realized then we could write songs. So Joyce come from songwriting, like her band Climax. She wrote the song, and she's the first one to sign Dallas Austin. So she come from working around songwriters and producers. She came up with L.A. Babyface, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. So she knew, and when she heard our songs, she's like, "Whoa, these guys can write." You know what I mean? Like, we can put it together. And right then and there, she's like, "Oh, I want to work with y'all. I want to work with y'all. I can get y'all a deal, but we're gonna try to get a younger group, and we're gonna get them a deal as well. But y'all gonna write the songs." So that's how we met. And then right then, she plugged us right in the game. She took me to meet Dallas. Dallas like, "Man, Joyce, can I sign Jasper?" Yep, we working on all the groups and stuff, and it put me right in the game.
So tell me about that first meeting of the first, early part of working with Dallas.
Oh man, Dallas, man. See, Dallas one of the unique ones. Most people don't know too many people these days that produce and write. I'm like that. I'm 100%. That's what we call 100%. Pharrell can do it. Babyface can do it. R. Kelly can do it. Those kind of people. You know what I mean? But these days, you look on people thinking you see so many people on splits you don't know. But Dallas was like one of those guys. Jermaine Dupri can do it. You know what I mean?
Jermaine definitely can do it too.
But they write the song and they produce it and do the beat. Well, when I first met Dallas, actually he was doing a session with the group. Lloyd had a group called In Tune. I wrote all Lloyd demos.
Okay.
For the group, and Joyce had got him a deal. So when Dallas was writing a song for Lloyd, he like, man, my friend be writing all my songs. Can he come up here and help you finish? Lloyd was then about 11 or 12, but I had been working with him since like 9 or 10.
He was
And so Dallas, yeah, in the group. So Dallas like, well, call your friend. He writing your songs with you. So Lloyd called me like, just come in. I'm like, come on. So I go to the studio. I meet Dallas. So we write a song together for Lloyd. And Dallas say, man, you could do something else. So I went to the piano, start playing songs and singing them. And he like, you do that, okay. I want to keep you here. So after that, after he seen me play piano, sing all the songs, and I could write all of them, he's like, man, we're gonna stay working. So then he signed me in. He just kept me up there.
Wow. Now who did you work with when you were working with Dallas?
Oh man, he put me right in the game with everybody, man, because you got to think at that time, okay, we met doing Lloyd album, but right then Joyce also signed Sammy. So she brought Sammy up there to get a solo deal through Dallas, through Capitol Freeway, his label. So we went time we hit the ground running. We Lloyd group, Sammy, TLC. He always working on them.
Wow.
And really, man, he was making so many people through that, man.
Did he have Monica at this point? Or
yes, sir. Monica was on her second album at this time.
Oh, wow.
What up, Mo? Yeah, Mo was on her second album. So anybody around Atlanta was up there during that time.
Wow.
So it was like, it was right into the game, right into the game. And he was at his height right then.
I think it was so interesting with Atlanta, more than I think any other places I've ever been, how, and I saw you say this before, some of y'all came up together.
All up connected.
And everybody kind of knew each other, and and everybody except from the skate. And that's what one thing was great about the ATL movie. Back to that, was they were showing this how that skating rink in that case was like a center for everybody, and everybody was in there.
Yes,
everybody was in there.
That's the truth. Like in Atlanta, you see everybody there. You see everybody at the malls. You see everybody. Everybody knew everybody was connected some kind of way. So anybody that popped off in Atlanta, some kind of way, everybody got a connection to him if he was really here.
That's amazing, man. So tell me about the. I know you said Dallas had Dark by this time at the studio.
He had Rowdy Records, which Monica was signed to. He had the record label. Then he had Free World Records too through Capitol, which Sammy was signed to at the time. Then he had Dark Productions. Dark was the leg that had the producers and writers signed to it. So Tim and Bob, the production duo, came out of Dark.
Wow.
Healings, who did Cupid for 112, come out of Dark.
Wow.
Man, so many of great producers came out of Dark. Man, the mixed engineer Leslie Brasway came from out of Dark. He was a producer too. He had a lot of producers signed up on
everybody was.
Yeah, everybody
Dark was like the hub for everything.
Oh man, come on, the hub, man, and it was like it. People don't understand how special it was to be able to be around a studio back then. It ain't like now where everybody, and it wasn't no easy way to get in. It was just. Man, it was just so much harder to really entryway into the real business. So back then it was special. I see everybody up there.
Wow.
We see everybody from Stevie Nicks to Christina Aguilera, everybody in there. It went from top to bottom. Anybody like top to bottom, you meet them any genre in there. Because Dallas did everything. He
did all genres of music too.
So he put me around all of that. He put me right in there.
Wow.
Go get it.
That's incredible. So tell me about after you get straight. So after you were working with Dallas at Dark, you went on to tell me about Lloyd. Tell me more about Lloyd.
Young Lloyd.
Tell me about Young Lloyd, Young Goldie.
Young Goldie, my boy, my little brother.
Tell me about that.
Well, the thing about Lloyd was, like I said, when we met Joyce Irby, she met us. She knew we could write songs. We were teenagers at the time. We was late teenagers. She wanted to get a young group because she always wanted a group like the Jackson 5 or something like that. So what she told us was, y'all, let's get together and just find us a young group. We're going to find a young group. And we was like, okay. So I found two guys that went to my auntie church. And then she went in the phone book and was going through the elementary schools to try to find other ones. And one of the first schools she found was a school called Avondale. Avondale Elementary was on the east side of town.
Okay.
She called Avondale Elementary. The principal picked her up and transferred her to the music department. And the music teacher at the school say, I got somebody. I know exactly what kind of student you're looking for. I got somebody for you. So she went out. To meet. She's like, I'm gonna go see who the teacher got. And it was Lloyd. He was a little boy, like 9. And when she met him, she was like, oh my God. And she called us and said, look, I think I got him. I got met a star. We gotta meet him. We gotta meet him within the next couple of days. We're gonna meet at the Red Lobster on Candler Road. Y'all got to come out and meet us at the Red Lobster on County Road, right by South DeKalb Mall. Anytime y'all know what it is, we was on the east side because he from that side over there. So when I meet him, the first thing he said when he ran up on me, you sang. He run up on me in the Red Lobster. He don't know me. He see me, look at me, say, "Oh yeah, you sang, shouted," and he started singing. I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "This is." I said, "Boy,
so he wasn't shy at all. He just went for it.
Oh, he was ready. Like he's like anybody with eyes and ears going, "Oh my God!" So that's how we met. And then at that point, she's like, "Jasper, I'm gonna put Lloyd. You gonna help him write all the songs, his demos or whatever. You know what I mean, to get the group together." So at that point, she just put us. We was working every day, and then she got my group of deal, got his group of deal, but we was always connected since then.
So how did you come up with the concepts for writing his records? Because
he
was young.
See, the trick with Lloyd is this. He edgy, but he was so young. He always was edgy. That's just naturally in him. So I'm like, you know what? For him, we got to write songs for kids, but it can't be corny. Because he never was that kind of kid. You would forget he was a kid. You know what I mean? Like you would sit and talk to Lloyd and forget he was a kid. Wow. So I'm like, we just got to write songs. He more like write songs for me. You know what I mean? I just can't say certain things, but like, so it was almost like he was older because he was always with older people because he always was mature in that kind of way. So writing songs for him was like, okay, I got to write songs a certain kind of way for him because he a kid, but he not no kiddie kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I got to make it appealing for his age group, but I also got to make it believable and he can get beyond his age group.
Okay, yeah, and he did.
He did. Yep.
Well, so what's the first project you dropped with Lloyd was what?
He was in a group called In Tune. It was called Tune Time.
Okay.
But before then, what's so crazy, we started working on Lloyd. We met Sammy, was going to put Sammy in the group, but we decided to get him a solo deal. So actually, Sammy album dropped first. Even though I met Lloyd first, Sammy album dropped faster because Sammy got signed to Dallas, and Dallas was moving faster. And Dallas did I Like It so fast for Sammy that really the first project that came out that I worked on was Sammy album.
Okay, that's incredible. Okay. So Sammy kind of skipped the line a bit.
Yeah, because he was an incredible kid. And the tricky part about writing for Sammy was he sang like a grown man. So you couldn't write super kitty songs for him either.
Yeah, it's like Johnny Gill when he was young.
I like it. He like, I gotta make a kid, but I gotta put some thump in it. I gotta make, you know what I mean? So Dallas met Sammy and did I Like It so quick, and the song took off so fast we had to rush and do his album.
Also, you were chasing the single, basically.
The first song he ever recorded, signed to Dallas, was I Like It. We was in Nashville on a writing trip. He flew him in one day and wrote I Like It. Played it for Capitol Records. They went crazy, put it out. It's gone. We got to finish the record. yeah.
That's a trip. Yeah, Sammy dope. Sammy dope. So now I'm gonna swing back around to something else. But now, when did you meet Noonie?
Noonie Lee, man, you know, so in the city.
Okay.
So they started renting a room and Jazzy started being up there every day working. So me and Jazzy got tight like that because I had another room and Noonie was his manager. So Noonie used to be up there every day. So I was with them every day, all day. And they was more like, you know, Dallas was so advanced in the business, you know, Dallas, you know, he was like, you know, Dallas had been, but Noonie and them, I ended up hanging with them a whole lot. So I just got tight with them and I was end up being with them every day because we was sharing, when they moved into a dark studio and got a studio room, we was there with each other every day, all day.
Wow.
And then he realized I was a certain kind of guy. So he like, you know what I mean? So, you know, okay, Jasper like this. So he started having me with him all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Noonie is somebody I want to get on this podcast eventually because, you know, Noonie doesn't.
Yeah, he don't pop out.
Yeah, like people don't really understand
what he had going on.
What he had going on and how he attacked the publishing side.
Oh, yeah. And Chris Hicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that Chris. Chris Ryan and Noonie. TR. Exactly. They had a real rack. Them boys put that work in. They put together a food team.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you how we got. I don't even know we was connected like this, but we were connected. So, real quick story. So, I was at Jive, and this dude kept calling me. He called me like once or twice a week. He kept calling me. I was like, who was this? I didn't know he was. I was like, oh man. So one day I just picked up. I was like, oh, what's up, man? Like, who are you? Because I don't think I had an assistant at the time. I think it was coming right tomorrow. So he was like, man, my name's CL, and I got this girl, man. I'm in Atlanta. I think you might. Oh. I know you know where I'm going, right? So I'm like, oh man, sorry, man. All right, I mean, send me your songs, man. Send me your songs.
Yeah.
He sends me some songs, And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? These records are great. Like, what? I was like, I said, there's something gotta be funny here. This can't be real. So I flew down to Atlanta. PCL picked me up in his little raggedy car at the airport, and we sat down and talked. He said, this girl named Nivea.
Yeah.
Nivea was about 14, 15 at the time, and the demos was all noontime producers.
Yep.
It was Brian Cox, it was yourself, it was Teddy Bishop. All these people was on the Don't Mess With My Man. That was the demo.
Yeah, organized.
Put out the demo.
Yeah.
Jagged and it was already on and everything. I was like, wow. That's what I saw like really what was happening in Atlanta, like all this stuff, especially with Noonie, you know?
Yep. The CL was hustling. That's how. Yep. I remember when I first met you because you signed Nivea. Like CL came and CL putting together songs from everybody. Yep. He wouldn't have got that. We were like, he would have got that deal, boy.
He got that deal. He made it happen. God bless him. Yep. I gotta reach out to him. I ain't talked to him in a long time, man.
You know what's so crazy? That was one of my first times ever going to New York was with Nivea.
Really?
Coming up and working Battery Studios up there with y'all.
Yeah.
Man, I was still on a minute phone, boy. I was so broke. Yeah. I got to shout out CL, man, for real. Because CL was like, man, you want to come up here with us and cut these vocals? He said, man, come up here with me. I said, man, for sure. And I got on, I was like, man, I'm going. So it's early in the game. So we got the plane up there, man. It was so cold up there, man. I ain't even really have no money, man. CL went and bought me a Sherlin, dog. This show you how the grind time was. He's like, come on, let's go to the store, get your coat. And I was still on the minute phone. And he was like, come on, we going to grind it up, man. I'm telling you, it's going to make sense.
And look where
I met up at Battery Studios, dog.
Yep, that's a trip. Yeah, man, we go back, man. We go back.
Because that's when I first met. That's crazy.
Yeah.
CL, he sure got that was so crazy.
He made it. He kept calling me. And I picked up that phone.
So that's how he got. Dog, that's really how he got her signed.
He was cold calling me. I didn't know CL. I never heard of him. I kept this 404 number. He just kept calling my phone. And one day I started to pick up almost like, what do you want, man? Like, what's up? And he was, he did his hustle thing. Hey man, I'm gonna see some music and when he sent me the records, I was just blown away because I was like, whoa. These are like radio ready. Like, what's going on? How do you get the records with Jagged Edge? And how you got Brian Michael Cox? What is this? And then I met her because she was super young and I liked her. And
to this day, man, it's one of my most popular songs I ever was involved with at 25 Reasons. 25 Reasons that was on the album. That's one of them songs people in my catalog, people still love to this day.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
shout out Nivea, man. Thank you for signing the dog. Thank everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I met you and Toy.
Yep. Me and Toy. Yep. Exactly. Toy Green. Yep. Those are the days, man.
And we'll be right back. Ready to launch your podcast? Merrick Studios offers comprehensive services, from concept development and seamless production to strategic marketing and monetization. Let your story take the mic. Visit merrickcreative.com/studios and let's get to work.
Master the art of lyricism with Pendulum Ink, the first school for rap. Learn elite techniques through immersive lessons, real-world exercises, and guidance from hip-hop icons. This is where MCs sharpen their skills and glow boldly on the mic. Ready to level up? Visit pendulumink.com and start your journey today.
And now, back to our show.
I got so much to talk about with you, man.
That's all good, man.
So tell me about that first Lloyd album, because you on the first. No, you wasn't on the first album.
You was on the second one.
Second album.
Yeah.
So the first album was what?
Southside and Hey Young Girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you wrote most of that.
Well, I wrote like 2 or 3 songs on that album.
Okay.
And what's so crazy? Those songs actually Lloyd did when he was like 15 or 16. They were older by the time Irv got them.
Wow.
Like what happened was Lloyd had got a solo deal with Magic Johnson. We was cutting demos, and he had got a record deal with George was still his manager.
I remember Magic had that deal. He had a box on his label.
And the way he even got signed to the label was Dave Gates, that used to run Dallas production side, was running Magic Johnson label side. And I had sent the demos to Dave. I'm like, Dave, you heard the new stuff young Lloyd been doing? I sent it to Dave. Dave, like, I'm gonna sign him over here. So he did a deal with Magic Johnson, right? But the project never came out. So what happened was he kept all those songs. So now we like, okay, the album ain't coming out. So the next thing we know, L.A. Reid, Mark Pitts heard Lloyd demos one day in dark and was like, man, call L.A. L.A. like I want to sign him. Well, one time on the New York trip to go meet with L.A., his lawyer Ron Sweeney intercepted the meet and called Irv. Irv met him before he went over there to holler at LA again. And Irv was like, I ain't letting him go, man. I got to sign this boy. And Irv took him to the Shunty Platinum party that night. And, man, ever since then, Lloyd was like, man, I think I'm going to sign with Irv. And so went fast, you know what I mean? So that's why he had most of those songs. Like Southside and Hey Young Girl was actually like a year too old before they even ever maybe even more than that. Because he did those songs around 15 or 16. And they came out, he like 18.
Wow. And then so you have success. Then you go. Then it was a hiccup with you, correct?
Yeah. Well, what happened was, at that time, right after that, Irvin went on the trial. So that's when Irvin was going through that trial. But at the same time, Irvin was going through that trial, Hurricane Katrina hit. Lloyd's whole family from New Orleans.
Yes.
So all of them had to move to Atlanta. So his whole family moved to Atlanta. So at that time, Irv, we was in limbo because we didn't really know what was going to go on. So because Irv couldn't do nothing, so we were like, man, we better do something. So we did the U song, me, Big Reese, and Lloyd. We did the U song, and we hit the streets with it.
Did you know? Did you think it was a hit?
Man, I knew it felt special. Like you don't know if a song gonna hit the way, but I knew it felt special.
It felt good.
Knew I liked it. You know what I mean?
It felt good. Yeah.
This thing rocking, the beat rocking, the melody's hard. I'm like, I like it, man. I really love it. And I'm like, man, I think it could be special. You know what I mean? But there's so many factors in the song being a hit. So you really can't never say, I know this is going to be a hit. I knew it felt special.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I knew it felt special. And so what happened was, at the same time, we was writing and producing for a lot of people. So it was this artist in Atlanta named Tango Red that was managed by a guy named Jerry Clark. Jerry Clark at the time had Tango Red a deal with Warner Brothers. And we had just did his single that featured Lloyd. But Jerry Clark pedigree was radio.
Yes.
So we told Jerry Clark, hey, man, we think this could be – we started leaking the song to all the DJs. We started leaking it to all the DJs, DJ Nab, you know what I'm saying, Drama, all of them. Everybody know each other. So we started leaking the song. And we got with Jerry Clark. We're like, hey, Jerry, we think we got some, man. We know Tango just had Lloyd featured on his song. Come help us work radio, and we'll put Tango on Lloyd's song. And what happened was we did that, but we at the same time, Lloyd been friends with Lil Wayne. We always had the Lil Wayne verse. We just held it. We held the Lil Wayne verse.
So the original you had Tango on it.
Had Tango on it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that.
It started hitting Atlanta radio, and it started taking off like wildfire. Like wildfire, boom, boom. But at this point in time, we don't know what label we just knew we had to do something. We just had to do something to keep him going. And, you know what I mean? Because, we all family. So it's like, man, that's my little brother. We got to do something to keep it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We put a song out and start catching. And what happened was it was a lapse in his deal with Murder Inc. at the time. It was a lapse in his deal. So it was at the same time, the record going, it was an out for him to get out. But some paperwork stuff happened that he ended up still having to stay with Irv. And that's how Irv got the new situation with Universal. Because the song was so hot that Universal gave Irv a new deal, but it was because of the U record.
Based on that song.
Yes, for sure. Because the song went crazy. It was going so crazy. Because really, to be honest with you, we thought we had a deal. He was gonna go to Atlantic Records at this time.
Yeah, because I think I remember you. I had to look it up because I
so we had a deal with Atlantic.
I thought always Sylvia Roan did that record.
But now Sylvia actually came back around. See, because Sylvia was head of Universal when we had to go over there. But see, what happened was we was going to do a deal with Atlantic because we thought we was out of the Irv situation. But through paperwork or whatever, politics and all that, he had to stay with Irv. And Sylvia was the one. Sylvia's like, man, because Sylvia was over on Universal Motown at that time. So so when Irv when he got a new deal, that's who Sylvia was the head.
That's the connection with Sylvia. I got you.
We always had a good relationship with Sylvia. Always, from her Electra days. We was, you know what I mean? Yeah, I met her through Dallas. Her and Dallas always been tight. When she got a chance to do that, we was like, okay, good. We don't want with Sylvia. We still gonna be straight. And so
that record, man. Today's it still plays.
Going, man. It's still one of them ones. It's special. It's still special. It still come on. It still go viral, man. People remake it. You can't buy that. You know what I mean? You can't buy no music or no song touching people like that. No. As much as people say they might know all the time, you don't really know.
You never know.
You know what I mean? You don't know. So that's so special.
I got so many stories of artists, man. Get a quick one. Mystical hated Shake Your Ass.
I can believe it.
He
I can
thought
believe it.
he was so mad that he thought we ruined his career. He
I
thought
bet you
God
he did.
ruined his career. He's like, yo, God, you're ruining my career with this record. I hate this song. And, we know what happened.
Do you know what happened? Changed his whole life. Changed Pharrell life. Changed a bunch because
Everybody.
it was just special. But I realize a lot of times artists, they don't connect to their best. They don't connect to those biggest records like that because sometimes they don't see they just don't connect to it because they don't. Sometimes you can see a person better from the outside than them looking. You know what I mean? It's like when you look in the mirror, sometimes you may think you look weird, but other people are like, man, that look fly. You know what I mean? But you be like, what? But through your own lens, it be kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah, I saw something on Instagram about 2 weeks ago, whatever, recently. Keisha Cole said she hated Love.
I can believe it.
Hated it. She said, I hate this song.
Jeff, the more I realize the most artists, biggest and best records, even if they don't hate it, they just didn't feel like it was that special. They might be like, I know it's, you know what I mean?
I did that in 10 minutes. I just did that,
Yeah.
So real quick, you'll understand because you know the history. So Where Did I Love Go by the Supremes, Diana Ross?
Yep.
So the story is the reason she's singing like "Baby, man,"
didn't want to sing.
She hated it. And she's like, I'm gonna sing this song bad. I'm gonna sing this song bad so I don't have to sing it. And we know what happened. So
hey,
you're right.
It's so crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Really, she put the perfect vibe on the song because she sounds sad. She
sounds
so sad it made the song go.
And didn't even realize it. She thought she was sabotaging the record. And they ain't gonna use this shit. I'm a barely singing. I'm a sing talking.
You can't stop the magic.
Can't stop the magic.
And you can't out-thank God.
Can't stop the magic. Yeah, no, you definitely can't out-thank God. You can't out-thank God, man. So wait, I'm gonna finish up with Lloyd. Then we're gonna jump around a bit. So let's go to Girls of the World.
Girls Around the World,
which actually is.
You like
that better than you.
I can see that. It got that knock on it. Yeah,
got that knock on it, man. You and Reese, man. You and Reese.
Yeah.
Tell Reese I said what's up. By the way,
I just got the phone with him.
Yeah. So tell me about that.
Well, see what happened with Girls Around the World. Okay, coming around. So Street Love album come out.
Mm-hmm.
So coming around on working on Lessons in Love album, we was like, okay, we gonna try to keep the magic going. And Lloyd was walking around and he kept singing this bass line. He said, man, we got to do this song with this bass line I got. He kept singing it for about a week. I said, okay. So one day we was in the studio. I'm like, man, let's work on that idea you got, Lloyd. So we called in the bass player. He was like, man, the bass line do. So Lloyd kept singing that bass line. So Reese, he loaded up the Ashley's clip on the MP. And we were like, man, we're gonna okay, I see how we're gonna do it. So the big dude playing the bass over the drop, we added the strings and the keys, and me and Lloyd started vibing out to the verses. And Lloyd and Reese went in the studio, and Reese just kept acting like a DJ. He kept saying, "Girl around the world, girls all around the world." So he just kept playing, Slick Rick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna keep that all through the whole song. He like, we're gonna keep that. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna let that go down the whole song. We ain't even have no hook yet. I'm like, we're gonna fly that through the whole song like a DJ. So we came with the verses, and I was like, man, I got to make sure this hook right. So I said, I'm gonna take it home. So I went home, and then man, it's like the song God's blessed me. I was just laying in bed, and then the hook just came to me. Can't get you off. The hook just came to me. I'm like, oh, got it. So I ran to the studio. I'm like, Lord, come sing. I got the hook. So Lloyd come to the studio. He sang the hook. We was like, oh, he might be right. And then right after that, we was like, who we gonna put on it? We was like, we didn't know who we was gonna put on. We like Snoop or the gang. Who we gonna put on it? And so the Lloyd got a relationship with Wayne. So we like, we can all. Wayne's still the hottest. Really, he hottest ever been at this point.
Yeah.
Wayne jumped on it. We were like, oh my God. You could tell he wanted to do it. But what ended up making that project a little weird was Lloyd did this song that was kind of pop called In the A. I didn't feel like it supposed to came out first. But they spent a lot of money on this song, and it had a Luda feature. And they wanted to put it out. And I'm like, y'all shouldn't put that out right now. We're gonna spend too much money. So they put the song out, and they spent a lot of money, didn't go nowhere. So we had to leak all around the world right after that.
You leaked that.
We had to leak it because the other song they put out was tanking. And so all around the world was what the DJs wanted. So the DJ started playing out Girls Around the World. So CeCe was like, okay, we got to shoot this video. Cancel that. So they spent a whole lot of money on a single with Luda and all of that. The song didn't do nothing. So they had to put the Girls Around the World out, and they came in and took over. So they gave them a hit for that album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had to leak it, though. We had to leak that again. We had to do the work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Real quick, 5'2", 5'2". Which is it, man? Which is
Whatever
it?
they needed to be.
Nah. We're not going with that answer.
If you 5'2", it's 5'2".
That's
If you
beautiful.
fine, you fine.
But tell us what it is, because the people need to know. The people
That
need to
country
know.
slang, they'll never know. That country slang,
All right.
they'll never know.
I let you cook.
Hey, really,
It
man,
worked
that's
either
club.
way.
Don't be real. That's club talk, man. We talking to a girl. We telling the girl, you fine, man. Yeah, she fine too, but I want you. You know what I mean?
You smoking.
Yeah, that's player talk, man. You know, that's game, man. You know what I'm saying? That's game to let them know, man. We looking, we see all that. We can get all that. We can do all that, but I'm choosing you.
Yeah. So tell me about Sierra.
CeCe. What up, CeCe?
Still popping.
Man, still popping, man. Special from the first time I ever met her, man. Special from the jump. Like, for real, to be honest with you, special from the jump.
From the gate.
From the jump special. Wow. And I'm just talking about personality, vibe.
Star power.
I'm talking about power. You know, because most people think it ain't talent alone. You know, how many people we know can sing, but they can't, the other stuff, it takes more than that.
Or the other way, sometimes your voice stuff is okay, but you got so much star power.
You got so much star power. Yeah.
It works. And people are like, they can't really sing, but I like them, But
I'm going to tell you something, man. That girl CeCe sounded so good on the mic from the very first time her very first time recording, she was in a girl group. I didn't really know at this particular time. My guy TA, what up, TA? Anthony Tate, he put together a little girl group. They was in high school. She was 14, probably just 13 or 14. He's like, man, I got this girl group. See if y'all could do a song, do a demo. Well, CeCe had just got in the group. We didn't know the group dynamics. It was another girl that was really supposed to be the lead singer. But when they come in the studio, CeCe got on the mic and she just sounded like it. You can't buy that, man. And this wasn't even no auto-tune or none of that back then. She got on the mic, we were like, man, this the little girl gonna have to lead the whole song. So we kept CeCe on there most of the time. We didn't know that was causing problems in the group because we don't know that she just joined the group last week or 2 days ago. Wow. We don't know that she just, we don't know that. All we know is she the one sound like the star. Wow. She the one looked like, she felt like the star. She bubbed. So we found out later on all the girls felt the way. But man, what we gonna do? Like, I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy. The song we did was a song called A Girl Can Mac. What ended up happening was the group broke up. We ended up selling the song to 3LW. 3LW took the name of the song and made it their second album title, A Girl Can Mac. Wow. They didn't even never use it, they just took the title. But that was the song we cut on CeCe and her girl group. That was CeCe first time in the studio. Wow. So from the jump, man, she just sounded like it. You put some, it's some people that can sing, but you put them in the studio, they really don't know how to deliver in the studio. That's a different skill set.
Totally different.
I promise to God, man, the first time she got to start singing, me and my man Rico Lumpkins, we was like, she gonna have to sing this little girl sound like money on the mic. Mm-hmm. Sound good on the mic. Mm-hmm. She just sound good through your speakers. She sound good on radio. She just got the tone to just sound good. Mm-hmm. But she always had that, and she always had the personality, and she always had the work ethic. She was always ready for it. Yeah. Let's work.
That's crazy.
Let's go. Let's get it.
So how did she end up with getting signed to Jazzy?
So what happened was that girl group broke up. So TA was still managing. So TA was like, man, I think I'm gonna still work with Lil CeCe. I'm gonna try to. He called me one day saying, Lil CeCe, man, I'm gonna keep Sierra and try to get a solo deal because you cut some demos on her. So he was going around cutting demos. So he can't. So we cut some demos on her solo. Mm-hmm. And at this time, Jazzy on fire. So like I'm saying, all of us in the same studio. You know what I mean? At this time, mm-hmm. So it was like, man, I'm gonna take. I want Jazzy. I'm gonna take her to Jazzy if Jazzy want to do a deal with her or something. So he introduced her to Jazzy. Jazzy like, man, she dope. I think we could do something. So Jazzy signed her to show. He want to work with her showing up. We started putting the records together. And next thing we know, Jazzy got to meet with LA. Him and Nooney got to meet with Shakira in LA. And they ready to sign her.
They going Nooney again.
Yeah. Jazzy and Nooney got to meet with Shakira in LA. And LA like, I want to sign her. Wow. But we have been cutting demos on them. You know what I mean?
Did they keep any of the demos that you cut for that first record?
The title. On the first album, a song called The Title, where I sampled the LTD. I sampled that. I did that demo. Matter of fact, and Adonis, that was a demo. On that demo too, Adonis, that And I record, the slow song that every girl loved to sing, And I, that was on her demo. That was on her demo package. The Jazzy Face songs are all the songs he had already cut, like a bunch of songs he had already did was on the dip. You know what I'm saying? It was
What's
already
Step and Goodies and all that.
Well, Goodies with Lil Jon. They did that after she had signed the deal.
Oh, they did that after.
Yeah, they did that after she did the deal. She had went down to Miami and worked with Sean Garrett and Lil Jon. They was hot off that year. You know what I'm saying? Because all this was around the same time. You know what I mean? All us around each other. Matter of fact, Sean, all us was around each other at the same time.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that because that's when LA left Arista.
Yep.
And they merged.
And they didn't really know how they was. Yep.
You know what to do. So they I remember Barry Weiss gave all the A&R people people. He was like, okay, you listen to these people, you listen to these people, you listen to these people. Let me know which ones you like. With y'all? Yeah, he said, let me know which ones you like. And I tell you the one I like that he passed on. He was like, I don't know. Lupe Fiasco.
Wow, for real?
Lupe was signed to LA.
And he sure was. He sure was.
I was like, there's something about this kid. I don't know, but I kind of like him. And he was like, yeah. You know, but he
still dropped him.
He dropped him. Because you couldn't keep everybody.
So who else y'all dropped around that time? Because I know Jaquan was super hot with that Tipsy at that time.
Jaquan was on fire. We kept Jaquan. We kept the Young Bloods because that was all through Jermaine.
Yeah, that was on up over there. Yeah,
we kept obviously we kept Sierra. Well, of course we kept Usher. I'm blanking. I don't know who else we kept and who we dropped, but it was a bunch of artists that Arista had.
And y'all had to go through all of that and figure out who y'all was.
Because we had to make sure we wasn't missing none. And of course, you missed them anyway. But we kept Sierra. Filana, I think Filana, she was managing Sierra.
Yep, she was managing.
She worked in marketing. So when merged, some of the staff also came over.
Yep.
Filana came over. Yep. Pecos came over. Yep. And so Filana was working marketing, but she was also managing Sierra. So she was working it. Yeah, and that's when they had that little mix up with Petey Pablo.
And all that, because they wanted to see out
and Goodies at the same track. And all that.
Yeah, all that.
Yep. It all worked out, though. It all worked out. Both records blew up.
Hey, that was a special time, wasn't it?
It was an amazing time, bro. That was an amazing time, man. Yeah, like you said, Sierra, she'd come to the office sometime, and she's a star and all that stuff. And then one of the things I remember about her was that if you told her, she really would listen. Not to say she would do what you told her you think she should do, but she would really listen.
She always listened.
She'd really
I was hoping.
She'd be like,
yeah, like
she wouldn't just blow you off like
because she gonna pay, she pay attention to everything. Like she always listening. She always taking it all in, even if you think she ain't, man. She always plugged in.
Always plugged in, man.
Always plugged in.
Yeah, so that was an amazing time. She said that she had dad, and she had 1-2 Step, but Missy did. She had
went crazy.
with Luda.
Yep.
Danced in the car. Would you dance on the car?
We shot that on Peter Street, right over there.
What that was?
Yeah, matter of fact, if you look at that video, you see Gucci Man in the video just before he popped off. You see Joe. Yeah, we had the whole hood out there with us. Yeah. It was crazy.
So tell me about Promise.
Oh man, Promise. That was one of them records, man. For real, to be honest with you, it was so she's super hot. She's super hot at this time, and we're going to the second project. We're going into the second project, and we ain't know we kind of just trying to figure out what we could do to stay special. So one day, Ethiopia hit me. Ethiopia, she was like, "Hey, Polo, go to the studio. Polo, I think Polo and Elvis might got some." So I go to the studio. So Polo and Elvis, they're like, "Man, we thought we made this last night in LA. You know what I mean? Let's see what we could do." So they played the track, and I'm like, "Oh, this is smash." I'm like, "Our job is not to mess this beat up." I said, "Man, I had to fly to town." I say, "I got to fly. Today I got to fly to town to finish this Lloyd song in LA, but I'm going to be back in 2 days. We're going to get on it." I said, "Hold the track for me." So the next 2 days, they held the track. So CeCe hit me. She's like, "We're going to meet the studio today. Let's finish the track." And so it was and the truth of the matter, the song is what she was going through. She had just got through a breakup, but she very, very pro-love. So CeCe don't get that. CeCe hard, like everything is all about optimism with her. She always like that.
She don't get down.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to always believe in love. And if I find somebody else to make me feel special, I'm going to do all this. What I'm going to do. I'm going to always believe in love. She's saying all this stuff. I'm like, this is going to be the record. So we were trying to put it together. We started the idea. Polo came in and heard the idea. We was thinking, he was like, "Man, I don't know. We got to do something to make it feel a little bit more special." I said, "Something special." So me and CeCe, we said, okay. Then we start coming up with them vibes. She in that higher range when she do our falsetto. We like, "Ooh, that's it." So we started putting all them words together that she was talking about. We know we arranged all the words and we put all the words together. We came up with them melodies, me and her in the studio, and we started putting all them harmonies on there. And we put it together. We like, this feels like something. You know what I mean? This feels soft. We feel this, but it come from a real place. It's our life was going on.
Yeah.
And so they came back in there and heard that. They was, oh my God. Because that rain shit. No, because we always keep it. We try to keep it. We keep it vibe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If the track moving a certain way, we're going to keep it moving, you know, because she danced. Okay. So we're going to.
Yeah.
You know, so we keep it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we kept it on there. And man, it ended up right, man. And it just ended up being what it was. And when people heard it cut through the radio. It didn't feel like nothing. It cut through it. It killed them. So when it came, oh man, if we was getting them calls, we were like, oh, killed them again. We were like, oh, but what's crazy, I don't think the label liked it.
We weren't sure, honestly, because if I remember correctly, and I could, it's been a minute, so I could be fuzzy. I feel like the label wanted something a little more tempo.
I could see that, but see, the reason why we knew it was going to work because she already just had the tempo with Get Up from the movie soundtrack. So she already had that momentum going. And what I realized was sometimes, really more than tempo, you really want impact. Yes. So sometimes it's hard to hear impact with a record you feel slow. But see, like the way we wrote it, we didn't write it like a slow record.
No.
Like I say, we kept the tip. We was, you know what I'm saying?
So
we did it.
It's bouncy. It's bouncy. Yeah. It's a lot of movement.
She going to deliver the dance, so it's going to feel like that. So that's why we was like, oh, I could see why you would be like, should we put this out? But we just knew, like, we kind of felt like people going to like it. So that's when we gave it to Greg Street. Greg Street got it.
It was over.
It's over with. Boom.
Yeah, man. Another one. And I remember. Again, it's fuzzy. It's been a minute. I think I liked the record.
Yeah.
But when I saw the video,
that's when it really.
I was like, holy.
I'm gonna tell you, man. When I seen that video, I never forget. We was in the studio. I think me and I with Polo. We was in the studio. CeCe hit me like, I gotta come show y'all the video. We ain't really knowing what to expect from the video. We just think, we know she's gonna deliver, but we don't really know what it's gonna be. Man, we seen that video. When we saw the video, we said, oh, this really out of here. We're like, oh, this really out of here.
That video, man. That video.
Yeah, when we seen that video, we was like, see, and that's why you really hope to do special songs with special artists who gonna deliver it the whole way. Because at the end of the day, you could have a special song, but if it's not delivered all the way through, you get what I'm saying? Artists really have to put their work in. A lot of people, they just think it's all about, it ain't all about the songs. To it reach its best level, you need all the proponents working the right way. Everything. You know what I mean? And when we see that,
if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like CeCe was the first one on a video to rock like the baggy sweats and the.
Well, she brought it back. Well, you got to think it was kind of like she kind of brought it back with the boots, the Jodeci.
Yeah, with the boots. Yeah, the Jodeci boots and the baggy sweats and the hoodie.
Kind of had been years, Aaliyah and all, and TLC and all of them, but it was kind of had kind of got glitzy. It had kind of got the girls in the heels and all of that. Kind of got that way, which is cool. But she brought it back. She like, nah, I'm gonna put this baseball cap on this slow song. I'm gonna put them baggy sweats on. I'm gonna get on this wall and rock. I'm gonna have these Jodeci comeback boots on. I'm gonna have these girls with me, and we're gonna rock. We're gonna be sexy in baggy sweatsuits.
Exactly.
She just brought it back around. You know what I mean? She just brought it back around.
Yeah, man. So tell me about Christina Aguilera.
Christina, man, that was one of the best experiences ever. I met her. She came to work with Dallas on her album. Okay. Because on the second album, she wanted to on a to get away from the lollipop thing because she really wasn't dirty. She wasn't no less. She wanted to get dirty. She said that I'm getting away from this lollipop. I wanted to be edgier. You know what I'm saying? So she said that. So she came and spent time with us down in the studio, and she really was hanging out a whole lot. And what happened was we just kept a friendship going. And her ex-husband, Jordy, was my partner. He used to be Dallas' assistant.
Okay.
And so one day Jordy hit me. He like, hey, Christina wants you to come out here to LA. She got the track. She knew the Rockwater track was going to be a single. Like she knew she wanted a hip hop. She knew what she needed. You know what I mean? So she knew she wanted that kind of feel. So she's like, she got the Rockwater track, man. This is going to be a single. We just got to figure out how to put it on. So now I flew to LA, and most of the time in the studio, man, she's one of the most incredible vocalists ever.
I can just imagine.
And I went out there, and that's when I met Balewa. If anybody know Balewa from the Clutch, you know where Balewa, he got a bunch of hit records. That's why I met him, because he was already working with Christina at that time. Okay. They had the track up, and we put the finishing touches on Dirty. And man, she hit one of the most incredible runs I ever heard in one take. That run in Dirty that she did,
one take.
Man, come on, that woman right there, incredible in the booth. Like for real, like vocally. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. She hit that run. I looked at Balewa like, whoo. And man, like she knew she wanted. Like whether it was going to be the biggest hit ever or not, she knew for real. I had to get myself out of that like the poppy lane. I gotta make them know I'm grown for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she knew what she wanted, and then man, it worked for her. Like it wasn't the biggest hit in the world, but it worked for her to get what she needed to get.
Because that's where she trying to go.
Yeah, she had the beautiful song on that album. And the album still stripped. That stripped album went crazy, but she knew she needed to release that song to break what everybody thinks she was gonna come with. You know what I mean? Like she knew superstars a lot of times, man, they could feel like I gotta kind of show them who I really am. If I'm a last. Because you know what I mean? If I'm a last, I gotta show them who I really am.
Yeah.
I'm really dirty. I'm dirty. So I'm gonna have to, you know what I mean?
Now, writing that, did that open up a lot of did you start getting a lot more pop calls after that?
No. Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but man, I was so in it then.
You was just rolling.
So around. I was just rolling. But it wasn't really like a whole lot of pop calls just because that wasn't a super pop song. It was a little edgy. So it was kind of like, people were still calling though. They were still calling and do certain things, but it was kind of like it wasn't a whole lot of super pop calls. But it's so crazy. I was around all that pop stuff anyway because I was signed to Dallas. I had been around Dallas, so I was seeing all of that anyway. So
everybody's coming through the studio.
Man, I was in a blessed situation to be able to get my shot really at all that if I had something. You know what I mean?
Because they was right there all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Did you write? Correct me. Did you write Bossy?
Yep, co-wrote it. Yep, me, Sean Garrett, a novel. Yep, with a police. Yep.
I did not know that.
That's a crazy story too. Yep.
You tell me because I swear to God. Yeah, your dad is. I swear to God. Right I was like doing my research. I was like, wait a minute, what?
We co-wrote that. Me novel. Sean had worked with her in New York, but so that's so crazy how that song happened. I was sitting in the studio, and one day, Khalees, that's when her and Nas was living in Atlanta, and that's when she was married. And Nas, they was living in Atlanta. She came by the studio. She said, "Jasper, I got this idea on this CD. I think you could finish it off for me. I think it could be special." She gave me the CD. And I was just sitting there. Then my partner come in, Novel, and I was like, "Hey, Novel, load this up, see what this sound like in the studio." So Novel loaded up. He like, "Oh, this kind of hood, Jasper. We freak this." I was like, "Okay." So we go in there. We do all that screw stuff. We chop it up. They had the hook idea already. That but I didn't know her and Sean had. I didn't know who came. I didn't know none of this. I just know Khalees came and said, "Finish it." And so we finished it or whatever. We chopped up the track and arranged it and everything. And then I also didn't know that Chandra, my other friend, produced the beat. You got to think, all of us, me, Chandra, and Sean, all of us, we grew, we've been around each other forever. So I just really wanted to finish the idea because she asked me to. When somebody say, they personally say, it's a different thing, because.
It's different than a label calling you. Like she asked me personally.
She ain't really the type of person to do that with everybody. Khalees saying, she one of them real fly girls. She for real with it.
We from the same area in New York. I know how she get down.
So I gotta go. If I can, I want to give her some. She actually, she put it right in my lap. So when we did the idea, we gave it to her. We kind of like, we think this sound. We made it personalized for her. Like we put our Harlem and all that stuff. I know how she. The grills, I knew all of that, so it was custom written for. You get what I'm saying? So we put all that in the song, and I'm like, okay, this should be this could cut through. You know what I mean? I put the screw part on now, diamonds on my neck. Now, that's me doing all that diamonds on my diamonds.
I didn't know that. That's you doing that.
That's me doing that. So we would make it a little hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Make it a little edge or whatever. So we sent it back. So me and Nava, we sent it back. Next thing we know, I think one of the A&Rs like, man, we think this gonna be a single. We like, really? I'm like, I'm glad. I'm down. That's crazy. So she hit us like, man, this is going to come out. This is going to be the single. So I'm like, okay, let's run with it.
That's one of her biggest records.
Yeah, it was so crazy. It ended up being I ended up co-doing it, but the people I already.
Yeah, it was family.
It was but it was so crazy how all that came together, though. Like it was just so really. That's why, man. When it's magic, man, it's magic. Like you can't even explain a lot of times how this stuff be happening, man. You just gotta really try to be engaged in it, and you get the opportunity to try to take it. Do your best if you can.
I got to ask you about one more group. We could talk. You've done a million people.
Oh no!
Tell me about working with New Kids on the Block.
Man, see, that was crazy. That was the Polo. That's when they had did a deal with Interscope. You remember
I remember. I remember.
Together. So at that time, Polo, he was in business. Him and DJ was in business. DJ Jimmy nephew. So they was like, man, and that man,
other producers.
So it was just really one of them things. That being in the studio, me and Polo come up with something, and then they want to do it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even really. You know what I mean?
How were they in the studio? They cool?
Well, see, I wasn't even there. See, I just did the song.
Oh, you just did the song and sent. Okay.
Yes, we do it together, me and Polo. But then but then it was time for them to cut. They end up cutting.
They just cut it.
Yep.
Okay. What about Bedrock? Tell me about Bedrock.
Oh, Bedrock. Now that was a crazy story. Well, what happened? Lloyd, like he tight with Wayne and all them, Young Money, whatever. So what happened was, at one point in time, Omarion was supposed to have been signed to Young Money. He was going to do a deal with Young Money. But something happened with the deal. So they had this song idea. And they were like, man, see if Lloyd could come with a hook with it. So Lloyd cousin Ryan hit me like, hey man, Tez them just sent me this beat with they want Lloyd to do a hook. And see what you can come up with. So Lloyd came over to my house because he lived right around the corner this time. So me and Lloyd go to my basement and we were just vibing to it. And they had a hook on that first. I think we could do something better than this. So what happened was me and him came up with the Bedrock hook, and the words came from, he was on the episode of Wild and Out, and he said a corny joke talking about they called me Mr. Flintstone, I can make it Bedrock. So I say, we're going to take that and we're going to put it on. So in studio, I chopped up his vocals that I can make your Bedrock. I chopped that up. I chopped it up to make it, give it a little rap feel.
Yeah, bounce.
Yeah, because at that time, Wayne was doing that with his verse or something like, we'll put on you, Lloyd, to make it give it a little stud on the Bedrock part. And we'll just make the hook sing along. We did that hook in about 7 minutes, man. And just make it, catch, you know what I mean? So we sent it back to him. And at first they didn't really know. They was like, well, we think we kind of like our other version better. And we was like, y'all thought that other version better? All right. And so what happened was the Bedrock version, they leaked it to see how people respond. When they leaked it went like wildfire. And everybody like, Bedrock, crazy. So they like, man, we got to shoot this video. So that's how that happened. But we did that with my basement.
Wow.
Yeah, me and Lloyd did that in about 10 minutes.
Just messing around,
just really because they give you the opportunity. You just want to give them something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
you don't
one of the things where, but like you say, Ryan or Lloyd cousin here, like Jasper, man. See, Lottie, that's his nickname. Lottie said, come up with something, man, so we can send it back to Tez.
Yes, yeah.
And so we took the opportunity to try to come up with something, and it worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, so what are you working on now?
Man, what's so crazy now? I still just work with my team. I still work with Lloyd all the time. I still work with CeCe all the time. I got one of my our other homeboys, Blanco Brown. He a country artist, so he signed. He had a big song called "The Get Up," which is a country line dance. He one of the biggest line dance. Came out like 2019, 20. It was one of the biggest country line dance songs. He got a deal at Broken Boat Records in Nashville, so he been in country music way before the first bubble. So I work with Blanco Brown. That he found actually his group assigned to me. They the one singing background on Street Love on Lloyd album and Sierra Get Up remix. But he ended up started writing and doing country music. So I still work with him. And man, I got producers and writers I work with, and we just create songs all the time, and we just create content. And I'm just working with my people, man.
That's good. You're just doing what you want to do.
Yeah, man. Do what you do. Man, it's a blessing. You do what you want to do when you want to do it.
Yeah. You get that space where you kind of do what you want. You're running around with like a chicken with your head cut off.
It done worked out for me, man. I ain't gonna tell you no story. I couldn't even write this script.
You can catch Mixed and Mastered on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts. Hit that follow button, leave a review, and tell a friend. I'm your host, Jeffrey Sledge. Mixed and Mastered is produced and distributed by Merrick Studios.